to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Harekrishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter number 1, Text number 32. It is prose. We may not recite this. I will directly read the word-to-word meanings. Jambu, Jambu. Plaksha, Plaksha. Shalmali, Shalmali. Kusha, Kusha. Krauncha, Krauncha. Shaka, Shaka. Pushkara, Pushkara. Samnyaha, known as. Tesham, of them. Parimanam, dimensions. Purvasmat, Purvasmat. From the former. Uttara, Uttaraha. The following. Yatha, according to. Sankhyam, number. Diviguna, Dviguna, twice as much. Manena, with a measure. Bahihi, outside. Samantataha, all around. Upakliptaha, produced. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The names of the islands are Jambu, Plaksha, Shalmali, Kusha, Krauncha, Shaka, and Pushkara. Each island is twice as large as the one preceding it, and each is surrounded by a liquid substance, beyond which is the next island. Purport. The ocean in each planetary system has a different type of liquid. How they are situated is explained in the next verse. Reading next. The 7 oceans respectively contain salt water, sugarcane juice, liquor, clarified butter, milk, emulsified yogurt, and sweet drinking water. All the islands are completely surrounded by these oceans, and each ocean is equal in breadth to the island it surrounds. Maharaj Priyavrat, the husband of Queen Varhishmati, gave sovereignty over these islands to his respective sons, namely Agnidhra, Idhmajahva, Yagnabahu, Hiranyareta, Ghritaprishta, Medhatithi, and Vitihotra. Thus they all became kings in order of their father. Purport. It is to be understood that all the Dvipas or islands are surrounded by different types of oceans, and it is said herein that the breadth of each ocean is the same as that of the island it surrounds. The length of the oceans, however, cannot equal the length of the islands. According to Viraraghava Acharya, the breadth of the first island is 100,000 yojanas. 1 yojana equals 8 miles, and therefore the breadth of the first island is calculated to be 800,000 miles. The water surrounding it must have the same breadth, but its length must be different. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. I offer my humble obeisances to all the devotees at ISKCON Hyderabad. I specifically offer my humble obeisances to my worshipable senior, His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu, who is sitting right here. With your blessings, Prabhu, try to make a humble attempt to speak on this topic of Bhagavatam. Today we just read the 5th canto, first chapter, 2 shlokas, where Sukadeva Goswami described how Priyavrata Maharaj has created 7 oceans and 7 islands in Bhumandala. Actually, Priyavrata Maharaj was being trained under Narada Muni as a brahmachari, and he was absorbed in his devotional practices. But one day, suddenly, Swayambhu Manu came to Priyavrata Maharaj with a request. He said, "Dear Priyavrata, your brother Uttanapad ruled the kingdom, and several of his descendants in several generations, they also ruled the kingdom. Now, after several generations, Daksha is born in Uttanapad's dynasty. But Daksha, he went to do some austerities. And Daksha's austerities would continue for 5 manvantras. So the last descendant in Uttanapad's lineage, Daksha, is absorbed in his austerities, and there is no one to rule the kingdom, rule the Bhumandala. So under these circumstances, Swayambhu Manu, who is supposed to take care of the administrative affairs of the universe for 1 full manvantara, came to Priyavrata Maharaj, requested him, "Priyavrata, please accept the charge of the kingdom." But Priyavrata could not say yes or no. He is a father. Not only father, he is a wonderful devotee. How can I say no to him? But at the same time, I want to remain as a brahmachari under the guidance of Narada Muni. How can I give it up? So he just was in a dilemma whether to say yes or no. Then Lord Brahma descended from his Brahmaloka, and he spoke so many things. I think last month when I was here, we discussed what all Brahma spoke. Natasya kaschit tapasa vidyayava na yoga viryena manishayava naivartha dharmaihi paratah svatova kritam vihantum tanubhrad vibhuyat. So he spoke so many things. This is Lord's order. You cannot deny the Lord's instruction, right? However intelligent one may be, however exalted one may be, however experienced one may be, one has to obey the orders of the Lord. Now, it is my request, it is the Lord's order, it is your father Swayambhu Manu's request. Please take this responsibility. And don't worry, when you are absorbed in bhakti, the distractions in a kingdom or family life will not bother you so much. You please be rooted in your practices of Saravanam and Kirtanam and rule the kingdom. So, Priyavrata Maharaj submitted to the request of Brahma and Swayambhu Manu and took charge of the kingdom. although he was personally not inclined to do it. Sometimes a devotee may be asked to do some seva, and the devotee may not have that voluntary excitement to do that seva. But if the devotee happens to accept that seva under the instruction of superiors, one should be committed to do that seva. One should not do a half-hearted job. So that's what Priyavrata Maharaj is exemplifying here. Although he accepted this seva without his personal excitement, still, when he's doing that seva, he did it with full responsibility. He married 2 wives and he had about 13 sons, 3 plus 10. 3 sons became the Manus of the next 3 Manvantaras, Uttama, Tamasa, Raivata. They became the Manus of 3rd, 4th and 5th Manvantaras. And amongst the remaining 10 sons, 3 became Brahmacharis. And 7 became the 7 rulers of the 7 islands of Bhumandala. Where were 7 islands at that time? They were not there. But Priyavrata Maharaj has created them. Priyavrata Maharaj was at one point a bit not so satisfied with the movements of sun. So he expanded himself as a second sun. So Priyavrata had 2 forms now. In one form, he was ruling the kingdom. In another form, he became a replica sun, and he started giving light on the other hemisphere when the original sun is on this hemisphere. It's not that Priyavrata Maharaj wanted to outsmart sun god. That was not his intention. Priyavrata Maharaj was not in a mood to supersede another Vaishnava or outsmart another Vaishnava or defeat another Vaishnava in this service. But he genuinely wanted to serve his citizens in this way. So he did that. So as he was moving on his chariot in the Bhumandala, he created 7 ditches, 7 ring-shaped ditches in the Bhumandala. They became the 7 oceans. Now, as Sukadeva Goswami is saying that their names were, and when 7 ditches are formed, when 7 oceans are formed, naturally 7 islands are formed. The middlemost one is circular in shape, and the remaining 6 are ring-shaped. Islands were formed. So, and each island is surrounded by a ring-shaped ocean. And their names, as mentioned here, are Jambu, Plaksha, Shalmali, Kusha, Krauncha, Shaka, and Pushkara. So these are the names of the Dvipas. And what are the oceans? As you see, sugarcane juice ocean, liquor ocean, milk ocean, saltwater ocean. There are multiple oceans, right? So from one perspective, you see that Priyavrata Maharaj is so efficient in doing his service. Although he did this service without his personal inclination or excitement, but still his contribution to the universe, universal population and universal structure is much more than a Manu also. Bhagavatam says like this. So Priyavrata Maharaj did this, and you can see his efficiency. And Priyavrata Maharaj's 7 sons become the 7 rulers of these 7 islands of Bhumandala. And eventually he retired. Now let's meditate on this for a moment. There are 7 islands and 7 oceans just in the earthly plane, Bhumandala. And in the depths of Bhumandala, there are 7 other planetary systems. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Patala, all this. And above the earthly plane, Bhumandala, there are 6 upper planets. Govarloka, Svarloka, Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. 14 planetary systems in this one little universe. And like that, there are millions of such universes that emanated from the bodily pores of Mahavishnu. So, in such a huge material realm, with millions and millions of universes, Anantakoti Brahmandas, we are living in one small Brahmanda. In that there are 14 planetary systems which are very huge. In that we are living in one Bhumandala. And in that one Bhumandala there are 7 huge oceans, 7 huge islands. And we are living in the smallest island, Jambudvipa. In that Jambudvipa, there are 9 tracts of land called 9 Varshas. Hari Varsha, Kimpurusha Varsha, and Bharata Varsha. We are living in that Bharata Varsha. In one little country called India, in one little state called Andhra, Telangana, in one little city, Hyderabad, in one little area a bit. So we can realize the insignificance of one soul, one conditioned soul in such a huge cosmic setting of this entire material realm. And this entire material realm is very small in comparison to the spiritual realm, right? So, but the point is, although we are caught up in this material realm, there is a possibility of escaping from it. Apparently, it seems that we are living in a huge city with so many thousands and thousands of buildings. Each building has 10, 20, 30, 40 stories. We may get overwhelmed just by seeing the opulence of this one city or one country or one state. Krishna. However, the reality of a conditioned soul's life in this material world is, the reality is that we are trapped, we are encaged, we are arrested. Where are we held captive? In a big shell, universal shell, right, which is completely packed from all sides, with thick layers of earth, water, fire, air, ether, and all these different material elements have packed this big shell. And within that shell, there are 14 layers, and in the middle layer, 7th layer, we are trapped in a small little ocean called Jambudvipa, which is surrounded by so much of salt water. And there are 7 oceans and 7 islands like that. We are trapped in this middle one. And in this middle one also, there are 9 tracts of land. Each tract of land is separated by huge mountain ranges, right? So there are 10,000 yojanas wide, like that big, tall mountain ranges. So we are trapped here. So the soul, the pure spirit soul, who is an Amsha of Krishna, is supposed to be enjoying in Krishna's company while rendering service to Krishna lovingly with selflessness. Such a pure soul who is supposed to be relishing the sweetness of Krishna's seva in the spiritual realm is being humiliated and embarrassed and trapped and arrested in this conditioned material world in the middle of 7 oceans. Right? These 7 oceans are there binding us, not allowing us to go anywhere. So one may think that I am very opulent in this material world, I am very comfortable, I am very happy, I am this, I am that in this material world. But the reality is, we are in a captivity. We are bound. The conditioned souls are bound in this material world in the middle of these 7 oceans. So how to escape from this big tract of land, Bhumandala, which is and this Bharatavarsha or this Jambudvipa, which is in the middle of the 7 oceans. We need to immerse ourselves in 7 spiritual oceans. We have seen these 7 material oceans, whether it is sweet drinking water or salt water, whether it is milk or sugarcane juice or liquor or honey or whatever. These are all material oceans. So we are trapped in the middle of these 7 oceans. To come out of this trap of these 7 oceans, to come out of this imprisonment amidst these 7 material oceans, we need to immerse our minds in 7 spiritual oceans. What are the 7 spiritual oceans? We may not be able to even visit these material oceans, big oceans. Can we go to that milk ocean now? Can we go to that sweet drinking water ocean, yogurt ocean, milk ocean? All ghee problems and milk problems will be solved when we can have access to these oceans. But although we don't have sufficient access to these 7 great material oceans, we have very easy access to 7 great spiritual oceans. Sripada Ramanujacharya describes these 7 material oceans, 7 spiritual oceans. These are the 7 oceans of Krishna. We know Bhagavad Gita. We recently celebrated Gita Jayanti. In the Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, 34th shloka is considered the essence of the essence of the essence of the essence of essence of all scriptures. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopalanandanaha Like Bhagavad Gita itself is considered the essence of all scriptures, Upanishads. And the essence of Bhagavad Gita is the middle 6 chapters, the Bhakti Yoga chapters, 7 to 12. And the essence of this middle Bhakti Yoga section is the middle 2 chapters, 9 and 10 chapters. And the essence of this middle 9 and 10 chapters, 2 chapters is 9.34. Manmana bhava madbhakto. Right? So, this Manmana bhava madbhakta shloka is the essence of the essence of the essence of the essence of all Upanishads. Essence power 4. What is the essence of this Manmana bhava madbhakta shloka? Manmana bhava madbhakto madhya jimam namaskuru. So, Manmana, to always think of Krishna. Bhava madbhakto, becoming a devotee of Krishna. Madhyaji, worshipping Krishna. Mam namaskuru, offering obeisances to Krishna. The essence of these 4 elements of bhakti is basically to be Krishna conscious, to always think of Krishna, to immerse ourselves in Krishna's thoughts and Krishna's services. So that boils down to Manmana becomes the essence, in one sense, right? To always think of Krishna. That is the essence of all scriptures from another shloka's perspective also. Smartavyaha satatam Vishnor vismartavyo na jatuchit sarve vidhi nishedhasyur etayor eva kinkaraha. Smartavyaha satatam Vishnor. Always remember Lord Krishna. Vismartavyo na jatuchit. Never forget Krishna. Sarve vidhi nishedhasyur etayor eva kinkaraha. These 2 instructions are the essence of all the vidhis and nishedas. All the prescriptions and prohibitions, all the rules and regulations in all the scriptures boil down to always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So Manmana, always remember Krishna. So Ramanujacharya explains to us what is Manmana. Manmana means Mai apara karunya saushilya saundarya madhurya gambhirya audarya vatsalya jaladhau nivishta manabhava. Means immersing your mind in these 7 oceans of Krishna is the essence of the instruction Manmana. What are these 7 oceans? 7 spiritual oceans. In contrast to the 7 material oceans, we have 7 spiritual oceans of Krishna. They are Mai Apara. Apara means you cannot find their dimension. You cannot find their shore. You can at least calculate the dimensions of these oceans, material oceans. But the spiritual oceans of Krishna, you cannot find how deep they are, how expansive they are, how wide they are, how long they are. We cannot calculate. Apara. Shoreless oceans. These shoreless spiritual oceans are more accessible to us than these material oceans that have some dimensions. Mai apara karunya. Krishna is an ocean of compassion. Karunya. Saushilya. Krishna is an ocean of good character, virtues. Saundarya, Krishna is an ocean of beauty, unparalleled beauty. Mai apara karunya saushilya saundarya madhurya, Krishna is an ocean of sweetness. Madhurya, gambhirya, Krishna is also an ocean of gravity. Just because he is sweet and beautiful, that does not mean he is not grave. When it is required, he can give grave teachings of Bhagavad Gita. When it is required, he can be very grave in his dealings with some of his devotees, especially when they have done some mistakes. Indra has done a mistake. Krishna is very grave. He gave a grave warning. Brahma has done a mistake. What was the mistake? He stole the boys and the calves of Krishna. Krishna did not even give a warning also. He was silent. And at least when you speak, when you chastise, you are a little comfortable to receive the chastisement. But Brahma is completely confused. What is there in the mind of my Lord Krishna? He is so grave. He is extremely grave. He is not even speaking a single word. Brahma could not understand the gravity of Krishna. So he concluded his prayers, offered dandavats, and he went back to Brahmaloka. Still, that guilt, that repentance is haunting Brahma. So Brahma went to a place called Antardvipa. And he performed intense meditation, intense austerities to please the Lord. Then the Lord appeared in front of Brahma in the form of golden Gauranga and said, Brahma, you are very proud of your social status now. Because you are the creator of this universe, because you have a very high position. You are Prajapati Nam Abhivandita Pati. All the Prajapatis and Manus are reporting to you. Within your one day, the universal government changes 14 times. 14 Indras, 14 sets of Saptarishis, 14 Devatas, 14 sets of Manus, Manuputras. So you are very, very powerful, you are in a very great position. That's why you wanted to test me. So in my next incarnation as Golden Gauranga, you will be deprived of any social status, any social position. You will be born in the Mlecha and Yavana dynasties. You will not have that social respect. So you will become Haridas Thakur. You will be very, very humble. In such a humble state of mind, you will be able to chant my holy names. So Krishna spoke to Lord Brahma very gravely. So Krishna is a notion of gravity also. Mayapara Karunya Saushilya Saundarya Madhurya Gambhirya Audarya. Krishna is a notion of benevolence. Audarya, Vatsalya. Krishna is a notion of affection. Of course, some of these terms are closer to each other. So these are the 7 oceans of Krishna. So to escape from the imprisonment or trap of these 7 material oceans, we need to immerse our minds in the 7 spiritual oceans of Krishna's qualities. And then we will be able to escape this material realm. Mayapara Karunya. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says that Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto Shloka and Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. These 2 shlokas are considered 2 bright gems on the jewel box of Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur compares Bhagavad Gita to a beautiful shining jewel box, golden jewel box. So the lower portion of the box is the Karma Yoga, first 6 chapters. The upper portion of the box is Jnana Yoga, last 6 chapters. And the actual jewel inside the box is Bhakti Yoga, the middle 6 chapters. And on top lid, which is representing the last 6 chapters, there are 2 gems, very beautiful, shining, precious gems, right? On the cover, right? You see, this is the box, for example. So this lower lid is Karma Yoga, first 6 chapters. Upper lid is the last 6 chapters, Jnana Yoga. And inside content is Bhakti Yoga. So on top of this box, the lid, there are 2 gems. These 2 gems are 18.65 and 66. Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto Shloka and Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Shloka. So these 2 shlokas